Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this special virtual speaker event co-organized by Alliance for Korea United, the Global Peace Foundation, and Liberty in North Korea at UCLA. My name is Namshik Yu, and I will be moderating tonight's event. So today we have a very special guest here with us tonight, North Korean escapee Sunghyuk An, who will share about his life growing up in North Korea, his escape story, his advocacy work for the North Korean people, as well as his hope for Korean reunification. To give a quick rundown of tonight's event, we'll begin with a few opening remarks from our co-organizers, followed by the main talk with our speaker. After that, we'll move into a Q&A session where you'll have the opportunity to ask your questions directly to Sunghyuk. Finally, we'll wrap up with a commemorative group photo and a few closing announcements. A quick housekeeping note, to ensure a smooth event, all attendees here will remain muted until the Q&A session. However, the chat box will be open throughout, so feel free to drop your questions there at any time. So to kick things off, I'd like to introduce the president of Liberty in North Korea at UCLA, who will share more about their student organization and the really important work that they are doing on campus to raise awareness on the North Korean human rights issue at UCLA. So let's welcome up Angie Moon.
Hi everyone, I'm Angie. The president of Liberty in North Korea at UCLA, like Namchik said. We are basically a college chapter of the bigger organization Liberty in North Korea, and we support their work and mission. So, Links is a global nonprofit organization that seeks to provide freedom for North Korean civilians who are currently facing the world's most brutal regime. So what exactly does Link do? They rescue refugees by helping North Koreans who have escaped reach safety and freedom. They empower North Koreans in their new lives by working with resettled North Korean refugees to support their success. And they change the narrative on North Korea by focusing on the stories of the North Korean people, not just the politics. At Link at UCLA, we fundraise, aiming to raise $3,000 for every mile of the escape journey. North Korean refugees need to escape China to reach safety, but many refugees do not have the resources to make the 3,000-mile journey to a safe country in Southeast Asia. We also raise awareness via our general meetings where we discuss various topics surrounding North Korea and through speaker events such as this one, where we hope to support the North Korean people's voice and facilitate conversations focused on human rights and the refugee situation. Lastly, we link minds by building communities through our fun socials and connecting with North Korean defectors through English tutoring. Thank you so much for coming out to the speaker event, and we hope you take a lot away from it.
Okay, thank you so much, Angie, for sharing a little bit about what Link UCLA is doing right now, the incredible work that you guys have been doing, including putting on fundraisers, putting on these kind of speaker events. As someone who was a member of Liberty North Korea at UCLA, just graduating from there, 5 years ago now, it's amazing, and I'm really grateful that we are continuing to work together with you guys to really raise awareness on this critical issue. And so we thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing. Please support Link at UCLA. If you want to learn more about what they're doing, any upcoming events, please be to look out for their Instagram, follow them, and the links will be posted on the chat. So next, I'd like to introduce the Alliance for Korea United, AKU, and our mission to advance a free and unified Korea. We want to first play a quick 1-minute intro video to show all of you.
세상은 하나일 때가 아름답다. 원래 하나였던 것들은 다시 하나로 만나야 한다. 모두가 함께 꾸는 꿈이 한반도 통일이 되기를. 원더풀 원 코리아. 널리 세상을 이롭게 하는 통일 국가의 꿈. 코리안 드림.
Okay, so this year, 2025, actually marks the 80th anniversary of Korean Liberation Day, which was a day that symbolized hope for a free, independent, and united Korea. However, that hope was shattered as Cold War powers imposed an artificial division along the 30th parallel, separating the nation against the will of the Korean people. And for 80 years, Korea has remained divided, with devastating consequences. In North Korea today, we see 25 million people endure extreme human rights violations under the Kim regime. Millions of families remain separated, their hopes of reunification fading as time passes. And beyond these humanitarian crises, North Korea poses one of the greatest global security threats, actively supporting major conflicts in the Middle East and Europe. The North is critical in the development of Iran's ballistic missile program. And just last fall, we saw Kim Jong-un deploy more than 10,000 of his troops to support Russia in its war against Ukraine. So what happens on the Korean Peninsula not only affects the Korean people, but will have profound implications for the world. And despite decades of diplomatic efforts, whether it be the six-party talks, the Inter-Korea summits, US DPRK negotiations, little progress has been made due to the narrow focus on denuclearization without a clear vision for Korea's future. We believe the solution to these pressing challenges lie in the vision of the Korean dream. The Korean dream, coined by Dr. Hyunjin Preston Moon, is more than just a call for reunification, but it is a movement to restore the Korean people's shared identity and historic aspiration to live as one free and unified nation, rooted in the ancient Korean ethos of Sunghyuk An, which means to broadly benefit all humanity. This ideal has shaped Korea's history, guiding its people through times of crisis and inspiring them toward a higher purpose. Reunification is not merely a political goal, but it is about reuniting the Korean family, liberating those in the North from crimes against humanity, and building a new nation that upholds fundamental freedoms and human rights. A free and unified Korea would not only transform the lives of millions of Koreans, but also stand as a beacon of hope for the world. History has kind of shown that government-led talks alone will not achieve reunification. That is why we emphasize a grassroots movement for change. Action for Korea United, AKU, was founded back in 2012 to bring together citizens from all sectors of society to support unification. And today, it is the largest grassroots coalition for unification in South Korean history, with over 1,000 NGOs committed to the cause. And recently, in 2018, we launched AKU USA to mobilize support here in the US, recognizing its key role as an ally to the ROK and a champion of human rights. So through initiatives like the International Forum on One Korea, the 1K Global Campaign, and the Korean Dream Campus Tour, we are building a global movement for unification. This year, we are calling on students across US campuses to join us in raising awareness about North Korean human rights and advocating for a peaceful, unified Korea. These efforts will culminate in the Korean Dream 10 Million Global Citizens Rally that will be happening this August, marking a very historic moment in this fight for unification. We believe now is truly a critical time. Just last year, Kim Jong-un had abandoned North Korea's long-held unification agenda, revealing his fear of losing control over his own people. The recent defections of high-level North Korean defectors and this growing grassroots movement signal that truly change is coming. And the Korean dream provides the vision and momentum needed to make unification a reality. And so we invite all of you here to be part of this historic grassroots movement. Together, we can work towards a free and unified Korea, one that not only brings peace to the peninsula, but serves as a catalyst for peace worldwide. So if you want to learn more, please visit our website and follow us on social media. The links will be posted in the chat. So I would like to now introduce our guest speaker for tonight's event. Sunghyuk An is a Fulbright scholar and graduate student at Syracuse University's Maxwell School, specializing in international relations and data analytics for public policy. Originally from Kyongson County, North Korea, he defected with his family in 2011. He later earned his bachelor's degree in political science and diplomacy from Yonsei University, driven by his dream of becoming a politician who contributes to and accelerates the unification of the Korean Peninsula. From 2019 to 2022, Song Hyuk led the podcast Sabujak, interviewing over 150 North Korean defectors to share their untold stories. He also worked as a TV intern in Reuters, analyzing North Korean state media and interviewing experts on key issues in Korean society. After completing his master's, he actually plans to pursue a Ph.D. in East Asian security, focusing on U.S. North Korea relations. So let's all welcome up our guest speaker for tonight, Sunghyuk An.
And first of all, I'm sorry that I'm a little bit look different from the picture. I just cut off my hair. So here. Good evening, everyone. As Namsi kindly introduced me, I'm Sunghyuk, and I'm from North Korea. And I escaped in 2011 with my family. So today I'm going to share my experience in North Korea. Yeah, first of all, I was born and raised in Kyongson County, where is you can, as you can see on the map, is in the northeast side below the Cheongjin area. So it's very small town. And in North Korea, I was brainwashed from 3 years old. So I had to learn about Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il's history, which was fake, but I didn't know that. So I I think from 3 years old, I had a loyalty to Kim Jong-il and those Korean government as I learned. But after in 2009, those Korean government implemented a currency reform, which is they just gave like 100,000 won for each household, and then they collected all the money from the each every household, and then they decreased the price of rice from 5,000 won to 1 cent won, like economically, which is makes sense, right? And then after 1 month, the inflation occurred, and then my family had struggled to get food every day. So, and then at that time, I started watching Chinese dramas with my friends, and then I realized that North Korea is not good place for everyone, right? I realized that there is something new world beyond North Korea, and there is several reasons why my family and I defected from North Korea. Well, first of all, as I mentioned, I started watching outside information such as South Korean dramas, and then at the time I was 14 years old, but I mean emotionally I was very sensitive, but uh, because of the currency reform, I couldn't bring any lunchbox to the school every day, so I had to return to my home to have lunch, uh, which means I couldn't mingle with my friends at school during lunchtime. And then I as I said, I was brainwashed, and then as a result, I was ready to die for Kim Jong-il and for those Korean government, but I realized I realized that they didn't give me any food. And then so uh And the other reason is that I was about to join the Korean People's Army in 6 months. So which means I had to serve for 10 years from 17 to 27. And then, but my cousin was died after he joined KPA after 1 year. So imagine that, like how my parents let me join the KPA like for 10 years. So they decided to escape from North Korea in October 2011. So we crossed border and escaped to China and crossed or the China, and we arrived in Laos, and we safely arrived in Korean embassy in Laos, and then we stayed there like for 2 months for investigating, and then after that we uh, arrived in South Korea. And in South Korea, everything was new, and I had to adapt to a new education system, and I had to make new friends. But I was eager to study more because, like in North Korea, even though I was study, I would say very well, but without money, without family support, I couldn't enter the university because even though like North Korean government say that education is free, but you have to pay for professors like kind of bribe to get enter university. So my parents didn't have that money, so I couldn't imagine that going to university. So in South Korea, that's why I wanted to study more. So I studied hard, and as Namsik said, I entered Yonsei University, which is very big school in South Korea. And after that, during my undergraduate, but I made a podcast which called Sabujak, and it's all Korean, but as you can see, it's subscribers like over around 2,000 people, and my team and I interviewed over 150 those Korean defectors in South Korea, and our goal is that we wanted to share those Korean defectors like normal life in North Korea, because many South Koreans don't know about real life in North Korea because they only experience like uh, Pyongyang and Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il and about those Korean nuclear weapons. So we wanted to share like we call that beautiful life in North Korea, but which is not actually beautiful. And then we want to focus on like uh, among their life story. South Korea, like I mean, listeners can catch. There are a lot of like human rights violation from their those Korean defectors uh, stories. And this podcast is still running, and mostly by university students. So it's on podcast on iPhone, so you can search Sabujak, and yeah. And after I graduated, I wanted to study more, and now I'm studying master's degree in international relations in Syracuse. But as you know, like studying in the United States is very expensive. So I had to get scholarship. So I applied Fulbright scholarship in 2022, and uh, fortunately I got that scholarship, and it it made me to come to United States. And it's been 2 years, and it's my last semester, and so I applied like 11 universities for my PhD, but I faced multiple rejection for now, and then but currently, hopefully, I have two wait list. So I still have a little hope, but I hope I can get in for a PhD program in the United States. And lastly, I want to share my hope for Korean reunification. So as earlier, as Namsik mentioned, like there are 25 million North Koreans are still suffering from the government, and they don't know about any human rights, and they, I think, as a result of the brainwash, they think their life is normal life, like with other countries. So also, I believe that reunification is possible with support from the United States and other nations. So please keep the situation on the Korean Peninsula in your mind and support any AKU or link efforts to become one united Korea. Thank you so much. It's the end. And if you have any questions, just email me or send me Instagram.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sunghyuk, for sharing your unique story and experiences of life in North Korea, what motivated you and your family to defect, as well as your aspiration to live in a united Korea where all North Korean people are afforded their God-given freedoms and human rights. We truly long for the day when North Korean escapees can return home and the Korean people can live as one again. So we also wish you the best in your academic endeavors for PhD, only hoping that good news comes soon. So we thank you so much again for giving this time to share with all of us your story. We're now going to open the floor for live Q&A with our audience. So if you'd like to ask a question directly to Sunghyuk, please click on the reactions tab and select raise hand. I'll call on you and you can unmute yourself to speak. Before asking your question, please introduce yourself by sharing your name and where you come from. You can also submit questions in the chat box at any time. I'll be selecting questions from the chat as well as those that were submitted during the registration. Yes, if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. For now, the first question that I will ask to Sunghyuk came from our registration. This is from James Clausen. James asks, besides family and friends, is there anything you miss about North Korea? And do a lot of people take freedom for granted here in America? So Sunghyuk can respond.
Beside family and friends, I would say nothing in North Korea because I had like a lot of bad memories in North Korea, and one of the example, like in at 14, when I was 14, I was forced to like mobilize working, and I at that time I lost one of my finger during the forced labor, and I think beside family and friends, I don't have any beautiful memory in those Korea. So I would, yeah. But also in terms of the freedom in America, like I think, yeah, every Americans fully enjoy the freedom, like obviously compared to North Korea. Right?
Okay. Thank you, James, for that question that you submitted, and Sunghyuk for your response. This question also came from registration. It asks, this is from Sophia Yoon. When you think about when you lived in North Korea, what is the most unbelievable / memorable aspect of life in North Korea?
Wow, that's a good question. I think Um, oh, I think I've never experienced that like that kind of situation because every day my parents and I had to struggle. I mean we didn't know about what to eat for dinner like after lunch, right? So like so um I would say that I don't have any like that kind of experience from those Korea. Yeah, I would say.
Hey, thank you, Sophia, for that question. Also, if you would like to, don't be shy. If you would like to ask a question to Sunghyuk directly, please feel free to raise your hand on Zoom and I can call on you. um, this is another question that came from the registration. The question is from Jocelyn Garcia. Jocelyn asks, if you could send a message to your fellow North Koreans right now, what would that message be?
So I received that question from other like a lot of events, but I always say that uh, in South Korea you can dream whatever you want if you are trying hard or studying hard. So just come out from those Korea, and there is very good word than those Korea. That will be my message to my fellow those Koreans, but there is no way to sending that message to those Koreans directly. Yeah.
Okay, yes, that is a very unfortunate situation where for a lot of these North Korean escapees, although there's so much probably to want to convey and share to their fellow countrymen, that there's no chance to actually following that. I was just kind of curious. Ever since you defected, Sunghyuk, have you been able to get in touch with anyone in North Korea? And if so, like what was like the method or how were you able to?
Every year, my father and I contacted with my family members in those Korea, and but every time, we don't have too much time, and then they just ask us about sending money from South Korea, and we just sending them money and just asking about the situations of my family relatives in North Korea, and because it could happen because like along the border area we call that brokers who have Chinese cell phone, and they can directly go to South Korea, and then uh, we have your family members, and then they want to like specific amount of money, and can you send it to us or something like that? And that's kind of trust business between brokers and us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing about that. And actually, that's very tied actually to the work that Liberty North Korea is doing in terms of uh, trying to rescue those who defected. I think Angie explained it earlier. That whole 3,000-mile trek, and the journey to save that one refugee involves things like paying off brokers, things of that nature. And so yes, so in any way, that's a very direct method for any of us to really help contribute to this issue is by even just supporting what an organization like Link is doing in that area. Um, so we have our first hand raised up. This is Kayleen Tran. Kayleen, yes, please unmute yourself and ask your question to Sunghyuk.
Hi, I'm Kayleen Tran. I'm from Link UCLA and I'm the external vice president. And my question is, when you tell people you're from North Korea, like what's their reaction? Do South Koreans or Americans discriminate against you, or are they pretty welcoming?
Um, I think in South Korea it's I mean 50%, right? Some people welcome me, but some didn't. So after I graduated high school, uh I I mean I didn't say I'm from North Korea at first. Like when I met some new people, right? And then in America, like I said when I say I'm from North Korea and professors don't care about my background and they just touch me as a just person and who I mean based on my ability, right? You know, and they didn't ask me about my private informations, and so it was good. But in South Korea, I experienced some discrimination from my friends, and then, for example, like I don't have to join the military in South Korea, and they told me that, oh, I wish I could be those Korean defectors, and then they say I can cross the DMZ and then cross the China and those Korean border and something like that. But for me, it was like uh big journey, and I how can I say um yeah, but they did they discriminate sometimes in South Korea. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kayleen, for that question. Actually, a very important question, and Sunghyuk for sharing your experience based upon that, right? And it's really a sad reality that we actually see with a lot of North Korean escapees who really made that kind of sacrifice and arduous effort to achieve freedom. Uh, but then, the resettling process is really a challenging one for a lot of escapees in terms of, adjustment to life, the fast-paced life and environment of South Korea, the whole discrimination, which is why truly, more and more we believe that efforts need to be made where, when we see someone escape from North Korea, rather than seeing him or her as a North Korean, you know, seeing that person as just truly a fellow countryman, fellow Korean. And that day we really hope and long for it to come soon, where we can just recognize each other as family, as fellow countrymen. So thank you, Sunghyuk, for that response and for that question. This question also came from the registration. This is a little bit more on like the kind of government policy side. And it's related to the whole issue of the Chinese government repatriating or sending North Korean refugees back to North Korea. And so this question is from Chebom Kim. He asks, what do you think is the best way for South Korea to dissuade the PRC government to repatriate North Korean refugees?
Um, Personally, I don't think there is a way to stop like Chinese governments to sending those Korean defectors to North Korea because China always say that there are domestic problems, that is international issues, right? And then South Korean government is, I believe, is very small country among international community. So um and then for China, North Korea is more um reliable alliance. So they try to protect North Korea. So I don't think there is a good way to prevent that event from um, Chinese government. And there is only hope that after Xi Jinping, there is one there will be one good person to enter that position, and then he will care about those grand factors, and then something like that. But I don't think for now, like there is no way to prevent. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Chebom, for that question. And yes, it is the current reality of what is going on. But on the bright side, it is being kind of raised as a very critical issue, this issue of the repatriation of North Korean refugees from China back to North Korea. And so I know that a lot of efforts have been made where, nonprofits like, the ones involved in this space of North Korean human rights try to at least send letters to their nation's Chinese embassy to stop this repatriation of North Koreans back to essentially suffer under the Kim regime. And so on positive note, yeah, this issue is being raised and in the spotlight. So yes, thank you, Sunghyuk, for that insight. This is a question that came in through the chat. This is from Kyungmyung Yu. He asks, as someone who has lived in North Korea, what do you think is the most important factor for achieving the reunification between North and South Korea? So what would be the most important factor for achieving that?
I don't understand the questions. There's someone who has.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I think the most important factor is that the government, I mean South Korea or North Korea and United States or China, who involved in the process of Korean unification, they should care about normal North Koreans, right? How they manage their future, and how they prevent some big events after unification. But I don't think it will be the most important factor for government, right? They will make a deal between government and between China or United States. They don't care about people itself. So I think, yeah, people should be most important factor, that how we can treat them and how we can improve their life after um, uh, unification. And there is one big issue is that after unification, there is there will be discriminations from South Korean to those Koreans, right? So we need to try prevent that kind of situations during preparing for unification. But I don't think that is the most important factor for the government.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. And yes, I think you really touched upon a very important point in terms of what is like the government's the priority, right? In terms of all these efforts toward reunification, whether it be like, you had the Inter-Korea summits, you had this heads of state, have these kind of diplomatic talks and meetings, but what is never really at the table is the people themselves, the human rights issue. And so I think that this is this is something that even in our previous event where we had Colonel Maxwell, he eloquently really stated where we must have a human rights upfront approach, unification first, then denuclearization, rather than the reverse, where it's always been the emphasis on denuclearization without actually, a vision for the people of both North and South Korea. And so I think that's a very important point that's made. We have another hand up, brave soul, Angie, president of Liberty North Korea UCLA. Angie, you can unmute yourself and ask your question to Sunghyuk.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. I just had a question, I guess that's more personal, like coming to America and going through school here, what was like the most shocking part of it or the biggest culture shock you faced?
From school or from the society?
Either or both.
I have both experience, but first of all, for society, like cultural things, I was shocked. Every restaurant charges the tips, and it was pretty expensive for me. Um, and then second thing is that I mean in South Korea, I heard that in America, like car is very important transportation, right? But and I realized that yeah, it is very important transportation. So for now, like I don't have a car, so I'm just stuck at home, and yeah. And then from the school, I would say um every staff and professors are very supportive compared to Korea. And one of my professors, I told her that I want to study my PhD in like East Asian security. After that, like every day she sent me any events that related to East Asia, like even though like it's language event or language table on the campus. And then also like staff from my department, she always sending me any information about internship and some kind of things. And so which is I've never experienced that in South Korea. So they are like very very like supportive, I think, in United States because they charge many tuition, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Angie, for that question. And yes, I think the biggest probably overall shock is just how everything is so expensive in the States. Yes, like tips is a huge part of the culture here, especially with prices of everything going up at restaurants, and plus on top of that, tips and yes, tuition as well. So hopefully, with the you received the Fulbright scholarship, so that's a huge help. And hopefully, with the PhD, there can also be some kind of scholarships you can earn and gain from to pursue your studies. So thank you so much for that response, Sunghyuk. We'll have a few more questions. So if you're in the audience and you want to ask your question to Sunghyuk, this will be an opportunity. But I'll read a few more that came from the registration. This question comes from Cherin Lei Yates. The question is, what inspired and motivated you to study international relations and pursue higher education?
Oh, as I said, I want to be a professor in South Korea. And then I had one class that about like international relations. And then um, before that, I didn't know that how United States is great and how is big. I mean, how they have big power in the international community. After I learned about it, and then one of my dream was that, oh, I want to study in the United States, and then the biggest strength studying in the United States is that I can study with people who come from other countries, right? So in the first year of my master, I had a class called International Relations, and we discussed about Russia and Ukraine war, and there there were two guys one from Ukraine and one from Russia, and we had such a good discussions, and then I I've never imagined that in South Korea, that kind of environment. So I wanted to pursue my higher degree in the United States, and that was good choice for me. And yeah.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, Jaden, for that question. And yeah, I'm really happy to hear that by coming to the U.S. that you're able to gain these kind of experiences and kind of gain a more comprehensive understanding and education on these global issues. And so, yeah, especially yeah, for example, with that issue of Russia and Ukraine, which is very prevalent for the North Korean people, right? In terms of the troops that have been sent there and what kind of impact that's been having on the North Korean troops. And so, yes, that's amazing that and awesome that you're having good experience learning and gaining this kind of education here in the States. So we'll have just a couple more questions and wrap up our Q&A here. This question is from Shane Choi. Shane asks, if you had the chance, would you ever go back to North Korea, whether it be to visit North Korea or it's for some business? Would you ever return to North Korea for those reasons?
That is one of my bucket list to visit my hometown, but I guess it's not going to happen until I die, I guess. So I hope uh I can visit my hometown and meet my friends and my family relatives. So yeah, that is one of my biggest dream for my life, but which is very difficult to achieve. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shane, for that question. And that is why the reunification of the two Koreas must happen in our lifetime, so
Yeah.
that you can go return to your birthplace and meet your friends and everyone you knew there. And so, yes, I believe that with almost every North Korean escapee that I talk to and engage with, that is really the ultimate, but seemingly most distant dream, which is to go back to their home country, their birthplace. And so that truly why truly this work of a free and unified Korea reunification is not a political issue between two governments, but really it's a humanitarian issue, an issue that really about bringing together once again the Korean people as one rather than divided. And so, yes, thank you so much for that response, and we hope that that day can come before you die, Sunghyuk. So, if there are no other questions that are going to come from the live audience, we'll do one more question from the registration. This is from Sun E Moon. She asks, if you had a chance to speak to President Donald Trump right now, what would you suggest regarding the US policy toward North Korea and reunification?
Oh, that's so good questions. I I was I would say to President Trump, uh, don't meet Kim Jong-un again. And personally, and from my uh academic background, I think Kim Jong-un can use that. I mean that event to control its people, and I mean he can make such a propaganda to its people, right? Uh, and then it it's all his achievement to meet Mr. President Trump again, because like they can make a story like because of our leader Kim Jong-un is great. The president of United States comes to meet him, and that will be a good story. And then I strongly believe that because of that perspective, Kim Jong-un wants to meet Trump again. So I want to say don't meet Kim Jong-un again, and it's not good for East Asian security as well. Yeah, I personally believe that. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much for that question. And I wholeheartedly agree, Sunghyuk, with your response in terms of President Trump. If he does pursue some kind of engagement with North Korea, it should not be what it was like in the past, where it was just for really, like, photo ops, to just show that, yes, we made some kind of deal, but really to put the goal and vision of a free and unified Korea at the forefront in any kind of negotiation or any kind of engagement that is done with North Korea, putting the people at the forefront, the freedoms and human rights of of the North Korean people. Um, and in order to accomplish that, really putting the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula as the main goal of U.S. policy on North Korea. And so, yes, thank you so much for that response. This wraps it up for our Q&A session. Due to time constraint, we'll finish and wrap up here. I want to thank everyone for all your questions, all the questions submitted through the registration, and all the questions that have been asked here today. And Sunghyuk for really one by one going through each of them honestly and insightfully, educating and allowing all of us here to learn more about all these different issues. So thank you so much, Sunghyuk, for your participation in this Q&A. Yes, we will now go into wrap up our Q&A there, and we will now take a group photo, a commemorative group photo, so that we kind of really remember this meaningful day where we have Sunghyuk here as our guest speaker and all of you here to participate with Liberty North Korea at UCLA. So we want to take a group photo with all of you. I know that a lot of you might be shy, but for those of you that don't have your cameras on, I would like to ask you to please turn on your cameras, as it will make the photo look much better. I'll give everyone just a few seconds to do so. Please turn on your cameras, show your beautiful faces to make this photo look great. So, okay. Yes. So Kazu, could you take the group photo for us? Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kazu. Next up, we wanted to give a couple of announcements from our co-organizers. So I'll hand it off to Kayleen for upcoming events that Link UCLA has in store on campus. So Kayleen, take it off.
Thank you for that. So we only have 3 announcements to share today. And for 2 of those announcements is on the same day. Next week on Wednesday, we will be hosting a fundraiser. It's 85 Degree Bakery pastries and bread, and we'll be selling it on UCLA campus. So if you're in the area, then you could just stop by and have a quick snack if you want to buy from us. And it helps support our cause to help with these defections to the parent organization. And then on that same day at 6 p.m., we have our bi-weekly book club, and we're reading The Girl with Seven Names. So it's just a fun social get together to be able to like read the books, gather some knowledge, and talk about it with, like-minded people. And then the week after that, we have our last general meeting of the quarter, and it's on March 5th on Wednesday, and it's at 6:30 p.m. And if you guys miss these dates, then you can just go to our Instagram. It's called Link UCLA, or it's also in the chat box. So thank you guys for listening.
All right, thank you, Kayleen. So yeah, for any of you who want to, learn more about UCLA, Link UCLA, and get involved, I highly recommend it. It was the most meaningful time during my time at UCLA, all 4 years, being an active member of Liberty North Korea. So truly, I would recommend it. Also, check out the book club. I've met with Kayleen, had talked with her, and she is definitely she knows most. She's read almost every single book on North Korea and knows and can give really good recommendations. So check out the book club to learn more and get involved. And yes, also all the links to their Instagram and social media will be in the chat. So thank you, Kayleen. In terms of upcoming events for AKU, we will be heading down south early March for a couple of in-person speaker panel events. We are hosting an event with the Liberty North Korea chapter at Emory University in Atlanta on March 3rd, followed by a panel event with Liberty in North Korea chapter at Southern Methodist University, SMU, in Dallas. Although they're in-person events, both events will be streamed live on Zoom. And so if you've signed up to receive our emails from AKU, please be on the lookout for more information on those events and how to register. And also, if you're in the area, either in Atlanta and Dallas, and you would like to attend in person, please contact us for more information. So that is all for announcements on AKU's part. I'd like to now have Shraddha, our comms associate at the Global Peace Foundation, come up to briefly explain the Korean Dream, the ongoing Korean Dream 10 million signature campaign, and how all of you can participate. So let's welcome Shraddha.
Thanks, Namshik. Hi, everyone. This is Shraddha. It's so nice to see such a turnout. I just wanted to quickly extend a quick gratitude to our speaker and moderator, as well as the UCLA team and GPF team for sharing their valuable insights and helping make this event possible. Today's conversation has really made it clear that the situation on the Korean Peninsula is about more than just politics. It's about real people, human rights, security, and a hopeful vision for a brighter future. And as Namshik mentioned earlier, this is exactly why the Korean Dream 10 Million campaign, a global movement led by the One Korea Global Campaign under the Global Peace Foundation, is such a big campaign going on. GPF has been at the forefront of advocating for Korean unification, from hosting international forums to empowering grassroots initiatives that give a voice to everyday citizens. And this campaign seeks to gather 10 million digital signatures by August 2025 in commemoration of Korea's 80th year of liberation. And we want to invite you to join us on this journey by adding your name. And let me just quickly share my screen so you can all see what I'm about to show you. But essentially, your screen will be more than just a name on a list. It's a powerful declaration that the international community stands behind a free and unified Korea. And with each name added, brings us one step closer to shaping a future built on peace and unity. So while I explain this campaign and how to sign up your name, a link will be dropped in the chat, potentially with a QR code as well. And while that's happening, I'll quickly walk through visually how you can add your signature. You can either visit onedreamonekorea.com, and within that website, you can click on the blue Support Today tab, or you can click on the top right menu tab on Sign Your Support. And once you click that, you can scroll down, watch the video that we watched earlier, and go to the form. And from here, you can enter your name, email, and country of residence, and click Submit. And with that, you'll have officially joined the movement. So at its core, the campaign reflects the vision of one family under God, the belief that no matter where we come from, we're all connected. And while we recognize our shared humanity, we can work together to create real change. So once you've signed up, we highly recommend you to take the next step and share it with your networks. Post it on social media using the hashtags provided in the chat, text it to a friend, or send it to your family or coworkers. Every action will count, and while one signature may be small, when millions come together, we'll create an unstoppable momentum. And because you've already taken the time to be here for this meaningful event, we hope you'll just take a few extra seconds to sign your support and share it. And as we continue with the campus tour, we also want to challenge the universities and see who can help us bring in more supporters and advocates to this campaign. We thank you and welcome you to be a part of this journey. And that pretty much wraps up the Korean Dream 10 Million campaign. And before I pass it off, we also wanted to quickly showcase a quick recap video that highlights some activities from the One Korea Global campaign.
The division of Korea remains one of the most significant geopolitical issues in the world. Our initiatives are bringing awareness to this issue and supporting a peaceful reunification. The Korean Dream 10 Million campaign remains one of our main initiatives in this space, focusing on creating 10 million supporters for a unified Korea by 2025. In 2024, we've made great headway toward this goal with the support of the Korean diaspora and younger generations around the world. North Korean escapees have added their voices to the reunification discussion, as well as policymakers and experts. In October, we went to the DMZ to host one of the largest events held there, with 30,000 participants.
Okay, thank you so much, Strada. If today's talk had resonated with you in any way and you want to get involved, want to support, an easy and tangible way is to contribute is by signing your support through the 10 million signature campaign. By signing your support, you are taking that first step in joining this global movement for a free and unified Korea. And so as a reminder, the links will be posted in the chat, and it'll be greatly appreciated if we have even just a few signatures join the campaign. So thank you so much. As we now conclude our event, there's going to be a short poll that will pop up on all of your screens. And so upon launching the Korean Dream Campus Tour, we are constantly reaching out and getting in touch with student organizations across the country. And we ask all of you to fill out this quick poll to really get a gauge on the future events that we plan on holding. And so if you found meaning from today's event and you want to engage more in our work, we'd love to know what kind of topics, other topics related to Korea you would like to learn more about, whether it be on human rights, on policy, on denuclearization, economics, on reunification. We'd love to know. And also through these campus events, we plan on starting these monthly online young leaders discussions for students from all different universities to come together and do a more deeper dive, more intimate small group sessions with guest speakers to kind of do a deeper dive and learn more about these issues. And so we're super excited for all the opportunities that lie ahead to engage with students and young people like yourselves, working together towards this vision of a free and unified Korea. And so we thank you so much for filling these out, and just want to give a few more seconds for all of you to fill out the poll. Okay, I think we are good to go. Okay, so thank you for taking the time to fill that out. With that, we will conclude our event, Korean Dream Pathway to Peace and Freedom. I just want to first extend my deepest gratitude to our guest speaker, Sunghyuk, for sharing your story. Thank you so much for really sharing your unique and invaluable insights and your story and experiences with all of us here tonight. We really gained a lot more knowledge, gained a larger, greater perspective in terms of what life is like for the North Korean escapees and their pursuits to achieve their dreams now that they are resettling and experience that freedom that all of us deserve. And so huge thank you, Sunghyuk. A huge thank you as well to Link at UCLA for co-organizing this event, making it possible to happen, to our GPF comms team for running this Zoom event very smoothly and efficiently. Thank you to all of you as well for joining here tonight to participate in this meaningful talk and discussion. So before you go, please keep an eye out for the post-event survey that will appear as soon as you close the Zoom meeting. We'd love to hear your thoughts to get your feedback on how to improve events like this for future engagements. And so with that, we wish you all the best and we hope to see you again soon. Good night, everybody, and thank you so much.